Momelotinib is investigational JAK inhibitor. Inhibits JAK1 and JAK2 proteins in the body. It is very similar to Ruxolitinib. It was actually studied in a frontline study, which is called SIMPLFY-1, where it was compared head-to-head to Ruxolitinib. And it was very closely related to it in terms of the efficacy, but it was a little bit less effective on the symptoms, but equally effective on the spleen. And it was better for anemia. It was less causing anemia and perhaps even improving the anemia. So there are some qualitative difference between Momelotinib and Ruxolitinib, but overall, because of less of the quality of life improvements, the study failed. In the second-line setting, Momelotinib was, and second-line setting is definition of the after Ruxolitinib. It was compared to best available therapy in another randomized study, SIMPLFY-2 study, where, again, there were no enough differences to proclaim it a victory. Now, it is being studied at the moment in a second-line setting, comparing to danazol in a blinded way as a therapy for anemia and symptoms. And that gives you perspective that this drug is actually different. It's not for the spleen and symptoms, it's for anemia and the symptoms. What we are presenting at ASH is that when it's used properly, it is really effective long-term on the spleen and symptoms and anemia, even in frontline or second-line patients, but it's also prolonging survival. That's the bottom line. As Ruxolitinib is known to prolong survival, now we have evidence that Momelotinib does this as well. It is very effective medically, and it is prolonging that survival that comes with a good control of the signs and symptoms. So in the future, if the drug gets to be approved, I would highlight all the possible benefits of it, including potential. That's the key word, potential to prolong survival.